We're good?
Back.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We had some technical difficulties. We tried starting this thing a few times, but we got it going now. Filterless podcast here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Dr. KK, how you been? Happy New Year, brother. It's been a minute.
Happy New Year to you, Mike. Happy New Year to you, sir.
So you went on a cruise ship. We literally talked about this 15 seconds ago, and we had a problem with it. So it's going to be a little awkward at first because we already said all of this stuff. So we're just going to say it again.
Yeah.
So how many people went on the cruise with you?
At least 30.
At least 30. Okay. This is about where we stopped. So how was it? What cruise did you go to? Where did y'all go? Where did y'all dock?
Royal Caribbean, Harmony of the Seas, out of Galveston. Went to Roatan, Honduras.
Wow.
Costa Maya y Cozumel.
Nice.
That was cool. Except the weather in Roatan was trash,
Oh,
bro.
really?
Oh, my God. Cold.
How were
rainy.
the seas? Any shaking on the boat or anything like
No,
that?
the boat is so, Mike. I'll show you the picture of like our boat compared to like other cruises.
Right.
It towers over it, dude, like Titanic.
Massive.
Yeah. So you don't feel anything. The only time I felt something was went to like the gym area because it's towards one side of the boat, and one day it was a little rocky, but nothing crazy. Nobody got sick from that, at least.
Did you have a good time?
Oh yeah.
Did they do fireworks or anything off the boat?
No,
nothing.
no.
What time zone were you in for New Year's?
It was like central when we first started. Then it got like an hour off, and then it came back.
Okay.
But not only no fireworks, Mike, we couldn't even take our steamer inside the room. They confiscated our steamer.
Why?
Fire code. No steamer, no iron, no nothing. Oh, not
So
only
you were just wrinkly the whole trip?
yeah. Oh yeah, you just throw it up there. Yeah. So I was like, in my head, I was like, well, how do they expect us to?
So I got
straighten our
I got a
clothes.
hack for you from a friend of mine who traveled forever, right? He traveled 300 days a year for his job. And here's the hack. What you do is you go into the bathroom, you turn the water on hot, as hot as it'll go.
Steam it.
Close the door and hang your clothes in there, and it'll just steam the
Steam it for
clothes
you.
for a few minutes. Open the door, rub them real quick, and it does it.
I like that.
Just like a steamer.
The problem is I couldn't move in that damn bathroom, bro.
Right.
Have you seen these bathrooms? Mike, for me to even do a 360 in that bathroom, I'm
I
like,
know. What would 400-pound KK
dude,
have done
yeah, it was bad.
a bunch of years ago?
Yeah.
How was Christmas? All the kids were good, and Santa came and all that?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Santa came. I played Santa this year. It was pretty good.
Nice.
It was good. I normally don't do it as much as I did this year, but it was fun. It was fun.
That's
I liked
good.
it. Yeah, I liked
That's
it.
good. We didn't do much. We just kind of hung out. I mean, we went out to dinner and then rang in the new year at a little bar here with a few friends. But we were home early and didn't really get into too much trouble, which is good.
That's the best way
Christmas
to
was
do it.
great. Had Christmas with the kids, and it's so much easier when they're 17 and 15. Because it's like, what do you want? And they're like, cash.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. That's
Yeah,
easy.
it's not like a toy or whatever.
Yeah, so we got them some headphones, the new Apple headphones, and then some cash, and I think they already spent all of it. So,
Oh, I got a good headphone story real quick.
yeah?
I lose my headphones on the cruise. Okay. Now, mind you, I need these things, Mike. I need them bad. I cannot go to the gym without headphones. I
Right.
can't lay by the whatever pool without. I need music. I lose them. I'm like, damn, they're probably gone. I go to guest services. The guy goes and checks. He comes back with my case, and he's like, do you have the other headphone? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, this says there's only one in there. And I was like, no. I was like, kill me. Yeah, just joking. He opened it up. He had both in there. It was,
that's pretty good.
He probably does this a lot, but he got me.
Obviously.
As I'm walking to my room with my new refound case, I drop it through the crack of the stairs, falls 3 stories, busts open, all the headphones scatter. I have to go down there and do a scavenger hunt again, dude.
Do you find them again?
Yeah.
Do they still work?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I know your cheap ass ain't going to buy any
No,
ones.
man. Oh, yeah, I didn't buy those. those were a gift to my kids.
I didn't buy those.
Those were
That's
a gift
awesome.
to my kids 5 Christmases ago.
That's hilarious, dude. That's how well I know you, bro.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Happy New Year, everybody. I hope everybody had a great holiday season and had a great Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever you celebrate. And then happy New Year. I think 2026 is going to be baller.
Yeah, I agree.
The economy is just on fire.
Well, with all our newfound oil, yeah, sure. Although I don't even know.
That's topic number 2.
Yeah.
First topic, though, we're going to go into is the Minnesota fraud scandal.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go into the Maduro thing. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Houston, as we always wrap up with our Houston stuff, because Houston is on fire.
Houston is on fire, brother.
It is looking good here. Yeah. So first topic, Minnesota fraud. We're going to go over this, welfare schemes and political fallout. This is a hot national topic, and what's the kid's name? Nick Shirley.
Who is this?
Blew the lid. This 23-year-old kid, he's a Latter-day Saint, LDS.
Okay.
Which is that Mormon?
Yeah. Yes.
Is LDS Mormon?
Yes.
So he's a Mormon kid, very religious kid, doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs, very, good, what do you call it when your nose is clean? That kind of guy. And he just goes out and he gets this information from an older gentleman who has a contact inside the government. Okay. And so this contact inside the government, who's anonymous, sends them all of the stuff from the government as they're giving money to these healthcare and these daycares. And so he's got this whole list. And all they do is they're going by each address and they know how much money was given by the federal government each year for 2025, 2024, 2023, all the way back, I think, 10 years or so. And they just go by whatever address is on there and see if they're actually
really functioning
childcare or healthcare services and stuff like that. And like 90% of them were just fake. There's no kids there. There's no employees there. There's a few men sitting in there smoking cigarettes or whatever. And they're just collecting this money. Yeah. And so the lid kind of blows off. So let me just read this. Hot national politics, massive fraud in child care welfare under Governor Walz, with ICE raids and resignation calls, ties to immigration, government waste. And this is just a huge, huge scandal that is coming to light right now. So I don't know how much you've heard about this, how much you've talked about it, how much you've read on it, but I think that this is way, way bigger than just Minnesota.
Oh yeah, dude.
And Minneapolis. Oh, yeah. I think this is going on in all 50 states. I think it's actually going on in all Western civilizations right now, including everything in Europe, everything in any democratic or any kind of country like that was kind of pushing, a lot of taxes,
socialism, you can call it,
or social welfare stuff and things like that. I think this is everywhere, and I think it is rampant. Yeah. And so I think that what needs to be done is just like a Doge thing into this, and I really hope that Trump is going to do that. What have you heard about this? Have you heard anything on this? What is your take on this?
My take is that these guys are picking on Somalia intentionally. I want to say that. I believe that this is sort of like a psyop in a way to pick on Somalia in an attempt to, ready for this, form the nation of Somalidad. Are you familiar with Somalidad?
No.
Okay, you'll hear about it soon. Somalidad, apparently, is a big piece of land in Somalia, but they're like a West Bank. They're like operating under their own little government, trying to form their own country. And Israel just recognized them like last week. So the reason I believe this is all coming to light, and there's a conspiracy here. I'm serious about this Nick Shirley kid, because I don't know much about him, but people were kind of saying, he's supposed to be a clean-nosed kid, but supposedly he's kind of working for somebody. And dude, they're going to take the Gazans and put them in Somalia or Sudan. I don't even know where they are right now, to be honest. There was 2.2 million people living there initially. Where are they now? I'm not seeing any camps or anything like that. That's a lot of people, Mike. I think they're trying to form Somalidad so that they can transplant people there. When you talked about like this social government welfare thing going on, yeah, dude, it goes on in my clinic, Mike. I mean, dude, I got people showing up. If I see a 35-year-old with Medicare coming in my office, I already know they're on disability. And they walk in, they look great, they walk right out. And in my head, I'm like, well, it's not my job to sort of
you've got another patient right after.
And they're my patient. What am I, like a doctor is going to like rat on his own patient? So I'm not going to do that. But the point is that I see these things, and in my head, I'm like, we're paying for this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, like this is tax money being used to fund this person who, in my opinion, is not disabled. And when I say not disabled, I mean, that dude can work.
Right.
Like, he looks like he can work. He walks, he talks, no physical ailments I can see. And, you know, this has been going on forever. There does need to be a doge into the social welfare programs for sure, because it's gotten out of control. It's gotten rampant. And hopefully this Somalian thing can just like open the can of worms on this, honestly. That's what I would hope for.
Well, here's what I think. I think that, and I think I've said this before on this podcast, I think we have to have a social safety net. We have to. Yeah. The problem is that when it's so easy to get to fraud that system, and it's almost like the system was built to be frauded. Yeah. Like, there's no checks and balances. Right. How can a 23-year-old just show up to a place? How are government officials not doing this? Right. How are they not going and being like, okay, you got $2.8 million last year. Let's see the kids. Yeah. I want to see them physically. Like, I want to be here. We're going to check. Because I know that there's other checks that people do with like CPS and things like that. And a lot of these... what do you call it when you take in a foster kid? Right. Like they check these foster homes and make sure that they're up to date and make sure that the people are good, safe people that are there. How are we not doing that for these learning centers or child daycares? How is that not happening?
For votes.
Well, obviously.
For Democratic votes.
Well, and now they're saying that the reason that Tim Walz was even put on the ticket as vice president was because he could fundraise. Yeah. Because all of this stuff was happening in his state, and he's got access to all these people that are frauding the government for hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, didn't they say, I think they said billions over time.
It might be billions at this point.
No, people are scamming the government. And again, it's our money. But again, who's keeping track? $37 trillion in debt. Who cares? You know, that's how they feel at this point. It's just the money's going out and no one cares. No one cares where it's going.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's bad.
Well, I think that this is going to get worse and worse, or better and better, however you want to look at it, right? Because I think the more light that is shown on this, the better it's going to be.
100%.
And the more people continue to talk about it, the more these citizen journalists will do it. And here's the thing. If you're a 23-year-old or a 20-year-old or something like that, and you want to get on YouTube, do something like this. This guy got the biggest video of the year as a 23-year-old, just going by and doing this stuff and showing people. I think it's a great idea. I think we should have more citizen journalists doing this kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that it's a huge benefit to everyone for that to happen.
Well, look at what's happening now when you talk about citizen journalists, Mike. I mean, look at James O'Keefe, Candace Owens. Tucker is basically a citizen journalist right now. Yeah. Right? Megan's a citizen journalist. I mean, these people are dominating journalism in 2026. Yeah. You know, especially for our generation. And younger.
For sure.
Yeah. So everything is changing. That now this goes into who we're going to censor, who we're not going to censor. Right? This is a big problem for us because these citizen journalists, they're trying to limit what they can say and what they can't say. I think it's a big problem. Because the freedom of speech attack is a huge, huge issue right now. Huge. And I think there needs to be more attention paid to it. I think you and I could be like the litmus test of freedom of speech, to be honest. Because if there's something that you and I say that, I mean, because none of us are really, we're not extremists in any way. No. I don't believe so. No. I mean, I don't consider myself an extremist. Well, we have different views than...
I think my definition of extremist is someone that even regardless of changing facts doesn't change their mind. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So, like, I'm very open-minded. Yeah. I can change my mind very quickly because I know that I don't know everything. Right. I know that I've been wrong a ton in my life. For sure. And so when somebody brings me something, a different opinion or maybe even the actual facts or the actual truth, I can just look at it and be like, okay, let me make sure this is what it is. And if this is correct, then I'll change my opinion. For sure. I'll change my mind. 100%. It's not a big deal to change your mind.
Just like I changed my opinion on Trump.
Right.
I mean, you remember how I used to be about Trump?
100%.
And by the way, my whole family, not just my immediate family, my extended family, you know, not too many people were fans of Trump. And I supported him and I stood by him like relentlessly throughout the impeachments and throughout all this stuff. And then now he's done so much now that I'm just like, I can't, dude. I can't like... Yeah, I still prefer you over Biden, to be honest, but it's like, I can't, like, what are you doing, man? You need to, like, I'm not a huge fan anymore. I'm sorry. I want to be.
Yep.
I just can't. He's doing too much.
Yeah. You know, I think Trump is much better than the alternative.
No.
For sure. Especially economically. I think he's probably one of the best presidents we've ever had, speaking on economics only.
Yeah,
right?
and his bulliness, his aggression.
Right.
Him basically saying, look, it's like poker. We have the best hand. We're going to play our hand. America has not been playing its hand for decades.
Right. We've just been letting people...
the corruption, we've just been letting people just take at us. Leech. Yeah. Man, we haven't been... China, on the other hand, they're the one... We built China.
Yeah.
Did we not?
That's the other thing. And I don't mind also talking about Maduro here because we kind of went on to Trump. And our third thing is Venezuela and Maduro that we want to talk about. You know, one of the things is, and as a CEO of a business, I make decisions daily for the greater good.
Right.
And sometimes my employees, because they don't see the whole picture, because sometimes it's just too hard to communicate everything to every employee, right? And I try to give them the overall picture of where we're going and where we're headed, but there's nuances, right? And so sometimes I'll make a decision 6 months before something else because I know that in 6 months something else is going to happen,
for sure,
right? I think that Trump does a lot of that.
Yeah, I think the tariffs is a good example of that.
Exactly.
A good example. Everyone was just like, and I immediately, when I heard about the tariffs, I was like, yes.
Right.
Like good.
And I think that the Venezuela thing is that.
Yeah.
I think he's playing a hand way, way early, knowing that in however long, something else is about to happen.
Yeah.
And so he knew that this was his moment. Now, I do think that if we're talking about Maduro, and do you want to go into Maduro?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
No, we can.
So I think, and I told you this before the podcast, that I had a hot take on Maduro. I think that this was all planned.
Yeah.
I think what actually happened was they did have that talk a week ago or whatever, and I think Trump basically told him, look, there's two ways that we can do this.
Easy way or hard way.
You can do it the easy way or we'll kill you.
Right.
Period.
Right.
So which way do you want to do it?
Yeah.
And I think he said, okay, just don't kill me.
Yeah, but they didn't even give him the option.
I think they did.
No, Maduro said it. The day before he was captured, there's a video of him in the car. I watched it. He said he only spoke to Trump once, one time. And that conversation was actually very pleasant, he said.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, boom, going in, basically kidnapping the president of a country.
This is actually what I think happened. I think Maduro knew that we were coming. I think that he allowed them to capture him. And I think that eventually he's going to get convicted. He's going to go to prison. And then we're never going to hear about him again. And he's going to get out of that prison somehow. And he's going to go live as a billionaire in Turkey for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And I think the reason that Trump wanted this to happen this way is because he needed this giant military win.
Yeah.
And so when people are saying this was almost an impossibility to do this, like there's no other military on the planet that could have gotten this done, I don't think there is a military on this planet that could have done what we just did.
No, there's not.
I don't think our military
could
have done it.
And to be honest,
And so because of that, I think that Maduro allowed it to happen, was knowing that it was going to happen, and this is all just a psyop to show us, basically, we went in there, we grabbed him, we're going to make all these other countries think that we have all of this technology that we actually don't have because Maduro helped us grab him. Okay. They went and grabbed him from the country. They're going to indict, he's indicted already. They're going to criminally charge him and they're going to prosecute him and they're going to get the conviction. He's going to go to prison for a year and they're going to transfer him to another prison and he's going to go to Turkey and live in a billionaire's life. And I think the reason that they did that was very, very many reasons, right? I think one, Trump actually wants to liberate Venezuela. Like I actually think that. I think that might be 15 or 20% of the reason why, but I think that's part of it, right? I think if the population was for Maduro, Trump would have never done this. But I think that he knew that it would be well accepted in the country if he did this. And it has been overall from what I've seen.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Right.
From what you've seen. Now,
Yes.
Okay. I have to relate Venezuela to Iran. Iran right now is going through a lot of protests and turmoil, right? And the gist of the Iran thing, Mike, is that their government is too strict and too religious. I believe that's the gist of the Iranian issue. If you notice, all of my Persian friends and all of your Persian friends that live in the United States, they are for that government being toppled. Yes. They're not in favor of the regime in Iran staying the way it is. Same thing with Venezuela. The Venezuelans that escaped that country, they're not for the current administration over there. But you have to ask yourself, why did Venezuela get in such hot water? Who did this to them? Who made Venezuela such a shitty, poor country where they were literally burning money at some point? I saw that video. You know, the dollar was so cheap to them, or whatever that currency was. They're burning it in protest. Yeah. You know, we might get to a point with the dollar here, to be honest, you know, in protests. Like, this is crazy. Our dollar's not worth anything. Who did that to them? We sanctioned the crap out of them, dude.
Well, but there was reasons.
What? Because they kicked us out.
Right, and we had over $100 billion invested in that country that we had not recouped.
Well, who's we? These are private companies. This isn't the government.
These are private companies that, wait. You have to remember, if you're a United States company, right, you have the backing of the United States government. You are an entity in the United States, right? And so if a foreign entity comes in to Apple, like what happened in the EU, right? They gave Apple this $500 billion fine, and Trump was like, no, you can't do that to my companies. Yeah. You can't do that to companies in our country. We're not going to have it. We're not going to allow it. And so they're going to fight, for Apple, or they're going to fight for Facebook with these countries, because these are United States, companies. They're corporations held, based in the United States, and that tax revenue comes in here. So the United States wants that.
So Venezuela is not allowed to make their own decisions.
They're not allowed to recant on contracts that they have signed.
Yeah, I don't know the details of Chavez kicking out Chevron and Exxon. Right. I don't know. I know that they nationalized their oil.
Yes.
And then Citgo was with them, supposedly.
And pushed them out and did not allow them to come get their equipment. Basically said, if you come back, you're dead. Okay. And so that, to me, I mean, what if it were your company? What if it were your oil and gas company?
I obviously wouldn't like that, but I also want to respect the sovereignty of other nations, Mike. I don't like what we do.
When the head of Venezuela is not recognized by 60 countries in the United States because they stole the election, how can you say that government is doing what the people want? Because they're killing their own people. They're literally killing their own people to do all of this.
Again, when it comes to Venezuela economics, I know that they're in bad shape. I know they're in very bad shape. I've known that for a long time. I know that we sanctioned them very, very, very badly. I believe that contributed to their economic downfall. So in a way, we're responsible for this. And then now all of a sudden we're the saviors of Venezuela. We're going to go in there and liberate them and steal all their oil, the largest oil reserves on the planet.
Well, I don't necessarily think that is, maybe technically happening. I think we're not running the government.
Oh no, you know who they're going to put?
Who?
Maria Karina.
So. I mean, Trump came out and basically said she's not going to be elected. She doesn't have the respect of the people. Like, yes, she's a great woman. She's a great, person and all this kind of stuff. But she doesn't. I mean, this is what Trump is saying. So, I think you can't do it like we did Iraq, right? You can't go in boots on the ground for 10 years plus and try to change. So. Obviously, I don't think he's doing that. We do not have military on the ground right now in Venezuela. They came in, they got him, and they are out. They're gone. Now, our ships are still right there, and we have military bases close that are right there.
The other thing too, Mike, is that if they have done all this stuff, they're not going to tell us. I heard they stole $1 trillion worth of silver, just like they stole trillions of dollars worth of gold from Saddam Hussein recently.
When they captured Maduro?
Yeah, like when they went in there, they took all the silver, they took all the oil. We don't know is my point. Like, they're not going to tell us what's going on.
I understand that, but like the operation literally took 45 minutes.
I
don't think you can steal $100 million.
No. What I'm saying is that operation could still be going on right now, and we wouldn't know. That's why it's a secret.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. They're not going to.
There's like
absolutely. Stuff.
We can only opinionate on what we know.
I mean, me as an American citizen, I am not proud of what the U.S. just did in Venezuela. I'm not.
You know, it's funny.
I will never be.
When I heard it happen, I texted a group of friends of mine, and I said, I don't agree with this at all.
No.
And I still don't agree with it.
Right.
But if you're going to do it, do it that way. Get in, get out.
Yeah.
Capture the guy, get out. Because he's indicted in New York. Now, here's the thing. He's going to have a fair trial.
No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. Well, just like Saddam Hussein had just like Gaddafi had a fair trial that dragged the man through the streets. They hung
but
Saddam
that's not
Hussein.
in the U.S. That wasn't in the U.S.
Right, but they're responsible.
Yeah, but that was their people doing that.
Oh, yeah,
what I'm saying is, like, he's going to get a trial by jury in New York for what he did to all the people.
And what did he do? No, they're indicting him for narco-terrorism, which is a made-up terminology. Narco-terrorism. What does that even mean? I've never heard that term before in my life. Now all of a sudden, because they use the terrorism laws that we have in place to do all the stuff that they did, so that it's like illegal.
I'm not saying that there's not overreach.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's 100% overreach.
Yeah.
But it's legal overreach because they've written the law in a way to where they can do this.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you write the law, then obviously you can do whatever you want.
Exactly.
But the thing is, like when you talk about like Maduro being captured, if you will, for being a narco-terrorist. This is he was elected. He's the duly elected president of a country. I don't know the details if he stopped doing elections or what he did, but the point is,
he was not elected.
No, he was.
No.
Nope.
He got 30% of the vote.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. He got 30% of the vote, and he just didn't leave.
They go in there. They kidnap this man who the United States has painted as a villain for a very long time, just like we paint Putin as a villain, just like we painted Saddam, Gaddafi, the little North Korean dude. You know, that's what we do. We paint villains so that when we do act, we're justified. It's like, oh, this dude's a bad dude.
So
we're helping the Venezuelans.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Here's some context for you. China is one of the biggest investors in Venezuela. Russia is also another big investor in Venezuela. And they were controlling a vast majority of that country.
Yeah.
In our hemisphere, they have people on the ground. They have assets there.
And Iran too.
Yep.
All three of our enemies.
Yeah,
supposedly.
but Iran's not in our hemisphere.
No, but
Iran's
Iran. My understanding is that Iran, Russia, and China get a lot of their oil from Venezuela. They do a lot of business with Venezuela.
Yes.
And Venezuela kicked us out.
Yes.
So Venezuela by proxy is now our adversary, is what happened. So instead of going after your real adversaries, you go after the drug dealer for your adversaries, the oil dealer for your adversaries?
I think so. And I think because it's in our hemisphere.
Yeah, because we could do it. But it doesn't mean it was the right thing to do.
I'm not saying it was the right thing to do.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying it was the right thing to do.
I don't think
what
it
I'm
was.
saying is I can understand their justification.
So here's the other thing, too. We went in, took the guy out. Now I guess we're in charge without boots on the ground somehow. Are we going to see benefits of this oil takeover? Are we going to see reduced inflation? Are we going to see reduced price at the pumps? Are we going to see reduced transportation costs? Will that happen? Honestly, I don't think so.
Time will tell.
Yeah, I don't think so, because and I'm just going based off of history.
But I can tell you this much: I think it's beneficial that Iran, Russia, and China aren't there.
Yeah, but the other thing too, when it comes to Iran, Russia, and China, I don't drink the Kool-Aid about all these people are our enemies either. The United States tells us who they want us to be.
I don't
enemies.
like calling them enemies.
Right, exactly.
I like calling them competitors.
Okay, yeah, we can call China a competitor.
They're absolutely
they're
a
a global leader, and they manufacture way more than us. I think their GDPs, I don't know if it's better than ours, but I mean, they have a strong military. Their people are doing relatively well, I believe. I mean, again, I don't know.
I look at them as competitors.
Yeah.
And if in my business, if a competitor, right down the road from me is doing shady stuff and stealing this and this and that.
Yeah, but were they doing shady stuff is the question. All they're doing is doing business with other countries.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you think the people of Venezuela, over the last 14 years, since they've had a dictatorship with Hugo Chavez and now Maduro, do you think they're better off or worse off in that 14-year period?
Worse right now, currently.
How much worse?
Way worse, because their economy tanked. And again, I think a lot of that has to do with the sanctions that we are responsible for putting on them.
But why are there sanctions?
Because they kicked us out and wouldn't let us do the oil. Right.
That's justified.
Well, But again, they're a sovereign nation.
Yeah, but that sovereign nation signed contracts with sovereign corporations out of the United States that said, hey, we're going to allow you to do this. We're going to sign this 10-year or 20-year agreement. We're going to take some benefit from it. And the minute we went in there and put all of this infrastructure in for them to be able to do all of this out of that country, they were like, thanks, bye. And if you don't leave, we're going to kill you.
Yeah. Well, couldn't we have done this? Couldn't we have done this 14 years ago?
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. Is that we're going to? I mean, how much time period do you have?
I agree. I think Obama should have done it when it happened.
How much of a time period do you have to retaliate against them kicking out Chevron and Exxon?
I agree, but we had Obama as president.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's I think back to what we were saying about Trump and his aggressiveness when it comes to economic policy. I like it. You like it. But let's let the American people see some benefit from that. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, it happened 3 days ago.
And then
we're not going to get benefit for a year if we get benefit.
Well, we'll circle back. Yeah. Hopefully, we'll circle back. And when you look at the countries that we went into, right?
Yes.
The U.S. Are any of them in better shape now than they were?
I agree, but we stayed.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm with you. But we're going to stay on the oil. Just because we're not going to have the military there and run the bases and all that stuff. Because
what if Trump's whole thing is we just want to go back to 14 years ago? Y'all can still do whatever you want. Just take us back to what we were what the original contract was. And if they do that, then I'm like, okay, that's actually a good deal.
Yeah,
that's actually a good deal. I agree with you.
Yeah,
they're going to overreach again because they always do.
Yeah, they're going to take it.
But Trump's not the always man.
Right. But he's setting it up.
And maybe they won't. Maybe they won't.
Yeah, I don't know, Mike.
I don't know either.
I wouldn't bet on it, bro.
The one thing that I do know, if there's anyone that I want negotiating this deal, it's him.
Yeah.
Because he's a businessman first, and he understands business. No. And he also understands that if you help the people that are there and they benefit from it just as much as we do, then everything's good.
For sure. But we've never done that. Like the country has never done that.
I agree.
Like Vietnam, all the wars that we fought, Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan, Syria, Libya.
Yeah, but what makes you think that Trump won't do it differently?
I'm just going off of because, like you said, Trump's out of here in a couple of years, Mike.
I understand.
So it's not going to be him.
We have 3 years. Yeah. So, but my question is
I don't have the faith in him to set it up in a moral, ethical way.
Why?
I just don't.
Why?
Because of the mere fact that he even did it in the first place.
Yeah, but you don't know the end game.
Right.
If we don't know the end game, let's just say that we fast forward 5 years from now, and and Venezuela is a thriving democracy.
I would love that.
And everything's great. We didn't overreach. We did everything the way it should have been done.
Yeah.
The contracts get back in place. America gets a bunch of oil. Venezuela gets a bunch of money.
Yeah.
It helps there. What if that happens?
If that happens,
right.
I would say good.
Okay, then why can't? But I understand
and
that.
I'm not betting on it because of our history.
I understand, but our history was also to not fight against tariffs and not fight our trade war.
Right.
But guess what? He did that, and he won it.
No, he's a revolutionary, and for sure.
So why
does
can't we
weirdly.
give him the benefit of the doubt to think that he might do it again with this?
He's
the most different president we've ever had in the history of our country, and he does things sometimes very unrational, it seems, but then in the end you're like, oh, I see the game he was playing now.
Yeah.
Now I see the game he was playing. But sometimes it takes 6 months, sometimes it takes 12 months, for that whole thing to lay itself out. I think that if he was going to do it, the way he at least started it was maybe not the right way to do it, but the best wrong way to do it.
Well, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does for sure. And then talking about wrong way to do things, apparently it's not going to stop because Lindsey Graham's now talking about Cuba. They're talking about Colombia. Did you hear about all this stuff?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like, it's almost like we got away with it. Let's see how much more we can get away with. Like you said, let's control the whole hemisphere.
Well, my question is, why did we get away with it?
Because we're the strongest military in the world right now.
No, the reason we got away with it is because the people in Venezuela want it to happen. That's why.
Yeah.
And so if we do it in Cuba and the people in Cuba want it to happen, we'll get away with it again.
Yeah.
If we do it in Iran and the people in Iran want it to happen, we'll do it again.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Now, are there ramifications for all of these decisions? Absolutely. Now, what those ramifications are, we're going to find those out in 6 months or 12 months as well.
But I believe firmly in my heart that there is a whole separate CIA PSYOP situation, intelligence community across the world going on, where we literally, any country that we have our eyes on, we intentionally destabilize that country first. We create a population of people who are asking for regime change to help sort of justify what we do. I think we do that. I
think we have done that. I don't think Trump's doing that.
No,
I think
Trump.
what he is doing is he's playing the hand he was dealt. He was dealt this country being destabilized in Venezuela. He's dealing with it. Yeah. He was dealt Cuba being destabilized. He's going to deal with it. Mm-hmm. He's dealt Mexico being run by narco-terrorists. He's going to deal with it.
Okay, let's talk about the narco-terrorism thing for a second. Is anyone really buying this? Are we buying this? I mean,
that there's drugs pouring into our country? Absolutely.
That there are, 100%. But how much of those drugs pouring into our country is Venezuela responsible for? I don't know. You don't know. We don't know. But for my whole lifetime, it was always Mexico and Colombia doing all this. And now all of a sudden, Venezuela rose to the ranks of the tops of the number one drug traffickers in the world.
I think you're mistaking a few things here. So the reason that Mexico is in trouble is because that's the routes that Colombia and Venezuela take to bring the drugs here. There are also, marijuana. Mm-hmm. Mexico is primarily a marijuana grower, right? Yeah. Well, that has kind of gone away because it's legal here in the United States for a lot, right? Yeah. And so a lot of that money got taken away. And so what did they start to do? They started to do other things like traffic people. Yeah. And the trafficking of people just went through the roof. Yeah, terrible. And it's the narco-terrorists that are doing it. Terrible. So yes, are they are they drug terrorists? Yes, because that's their business. But actually their business is not that. Yeah. Their business is transporting people.
Yeah, but this country, and again, take Trump out of it for a second. Talk about the U.S., because we're still a country, okay? We're still a country that has, you can't say, because Trump's in now, it's a completely different country. We're the same country with a different leader. But think about what we did. We went from, I guess, caring about drugs or caring so little about drugs that we literally had an open border for years. How many years did we have a completely open border? We're watching this nonstop.
Trump closed the border. Trump closed the border 2016 to 2020. Right. It got opened back up in 2020 to 2024. Right. And it's been closed again in 2025.
Which is great. Which is I'm for. Yeah. I'm all for closed borders. I always will, and I always will be. To be honest, the whole border people, I just kind of look at them, and it's hard for me to even debate these people because I'm like, if you don't believe that your country needs a border,
it doesn't make any sense.
It's almost like arguing with it's not even worth the argument. But we go from having a completely open border, drugs and human trafficking just pouring in. We go from that to now all of a sudden caring so much about drugs that we are willing to invade a sovereign nation and steal their president with, in my opinion, not so good evidence that he's even tied to the narco trafficking in the first place.
Well, maybe it'll all come out in the trial.
Dude, you're putting too much faith in this trial. I don't put faith in federal trial. I don't put faith in the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. I don't put faith in the Charlie Kirk, Tyler James Robinson trial. I don't put faith in the Maduro trial. These trials where you have so much conspiracy behind it, it's not like they get a fair.
Do you think that Maduro was a good president for Venezuela?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I know. I like his Nike tracksuit. Can we get those Nike tracksuits? I don't even think we can get those things. Or I guarantee you, those things are sold out right now. Was he a good president for them? Probably not. I don't know, Mike. I really don't. But I know the country was in such bad shape, bro, that it was hard for him to do anything.
70% of the votes, bro.
Yeah,
70%. Yeah. That's a big number.
No, Venezuela needed a boost. My question is, let's see if what we did will lead to a benefit for the people of Venezuela. But I don't have my hopes up, man. I just don't. And again, and you're asking me why, I'm telling you based off our historical precedents, I'm not sure of any country in the world that we have invaded that did better off after we went in there, messed stuff up, and left.
I wouldn't call it an invasion.
We invaded enough to steal the guy, you know what I'm saying?
45 minutes?
It wasn't a military invasion, Mike, but what we did. Oh, and then talk about that too. I sent you this. And not to keep bringing up Gaza, but can we talk about this for a second? Just for 1 second, please.
We can talk about whatever you want, man. This is your podcast.
Okay. No. So we have the capability
Oh, right.
to go in,
Yeah.
extract this man in 45 minutes with, it must be awesome technology. I don't know. I
They've
heard
got some
that
of the
what they
best
did,
technology in the
they kind of fooled them by flying a bunch of F-35s off the carriers, and then somehow the helicopters came in unannounced, and then they did their thing. So we have this technology to do these types of things, right? I mean, it's pretty. It was, let's put it this way: it was impressive, right?
Maybe.
Was it not impressive?
It was,
at least let's.
It's supposedly to be impressive,
Right.
unless Maduro.
Unless he was, yeah,
was in
like
on
you
it.
said. Okay, like you said, which it could be true, but for the sake of this, let's
agree.
say it's not.
I agree.
So they can do that. But you got a situation in Gaza where you got these terrorists, real terrorists, right? Not narco-terrorists, real terrorists, who are housing all these hostages, right? A few hundred hostages, and they're underground or whatever they are. And Israel, who the most moral army in the world and technologically has the best technology too. They have the Iron Dome, and our technology is their technology. You know, we share this stuff, right? So we have this.
I think we share with them. I don't know how much they share with us.
Exactly. But they couldn't somehow go in and extract
I agree.
hostages and kill terrorists.
I 100% agree.
You know what I'm saying?
It kind of makes Israel look worse.
And that's what we were saying the whole time. We were like, you don't understand. They are leveling the place intentionally. And everyone's just like, oh, well, they're underground and human shields. Well, what are you talking about, dude?
Yeah.
What are you even talking about? So I think this extraction
You probably could have
helps prove that.
put 50 Delta Force guys on ground in Gaza, and in 3 weeks everything would have been taken care
How much
of.
technology do people think Hamas has? How much? There's not an army.
I know.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I agree with not getting into shit and not in our hemisphere. Like when Venezuela's in our backyard, dude. It's 4-hour flight away. It's a 4-hour flight.
Yeah.
5-hour flight from the United States.
Yeah, it's close. It's pretty
It's
close to Florida.
close, brother. It is close, man. And to have that country have Russia and China and Iran be able to have military bases there and everything else, I don't want that.
If I was a purebred white American, okay, which I'm not, I'm sure I would be okay with what happened. See my point? Like, I'm sure I would be like,
I'm not okay with what happened.
this is cool.
I think it was the best of every worst option that we had.
Yeah.
But I think we had to do something. We could not allow China and Russia and Iran to be that close with that much ability.
Yeah. No, I understand the chess game here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, these
And
are
that's why I
reserves.
hope what we do is we literally liberate Venezuela.
I hope so
We do
too,
not
brother.
take
I
over.
do.
We do not put boots on the ground, but that we actually help the people of Venezuela liberate themselves, have them be able to have an actual election that really counts, and then pick whoever it is that they want to run that country, and then we just step away from it.
Right, but that's not what's going to happen because it's not what's happened anywhere else. We put in shadow puppet governments with our control, with Zionist control, to be honest. And that lady who won the Nobel Peace Prize, she's huge backing by them. She even said one time, I don't know if you saw this, she said, you know, if I become the whatever, first thing I'm going to do is move the embassy
To Israel.
Move the Venezuelan embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. It's like, who gives a crap? Like, why are you even talking about that? Like, that's the most unrelated. The world's on fire. We're basically in war. We are in World War III. I don't care what anyone says.
Well, I can tell you why she
this is
said
World
it.
War III.
She
right
wanted
now.
the backing of the United States.
Right, and to get the backing of the U.S., you need the backing of the people that back the United States, and that's how this whole thing works. And it's sad. And by the way, you know what else is going to happen too? It's not a coincidence that we just love to invade places without this centralized bank that these same people control. You know, we talk about the feds, and it's not a coincidence. It's not that Libya didn't have one. Iraq
It
didn't have one,
it wouldn't surprise me at all if Venezuela doesn't turn to the U.S. dollar.
No, they're basically going to go in and just uproot it. But like you said, if the people of Venezuela benefit from this, okay, good, because I know they've been in tough shape for a really long time. I know this for a fact. So, you know, I don't know. But don't mess with Cuba. Don't mess with Colombia.
Let's say that Trump was president in 2021. Okay. When did the Gaza thing happen? When October 17th, 2021?
2023.
2023?
2023, I think.
Let's just say Trump was president then.
Yeah.
And he did exactly what we did in Venezuela in Gaza. Like he did it. What would you say about that?
Great. Good.
So what's the difference?
They leveled the place.
No. What's the difference in what he did in Venezuela? You're giving grief to Trump for what he did in Venezuela, but if he would have done the exact same thing that he just did in Venezuela in Gaza, would you be okay with that?
I would be okay with it if it would have ended this war and not leveled the entire Gaza Strip and the 2.2 million people living there.
Which again, it's exactly what he did in Venezuela. He didn't level anything. He went in and got one dude and was out.
Right.
So what if we had done that in Gaza? Would you be upset about that?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Then why are you upset about the Venezuela thing?
Because they're completely opposite. They're on completely because of the outcome. The outcome is completely opposite.
What I'm saying is that let's say Israel never leveled Gaza.
Yeah.
Right. It was the day after October 17th. Trump was like, we're going to go in and we're going to get the leader of Hamas tomorrow. We're going to do the exact same thing that we did in Venezuela. We're going to do that in Gaza. But this was 2023. Yeah. So it would have done this first before Venezuela. Yeah. But the same. And we went and got the leader of Hamas.
Yeah.
And then said, hey, if you don't listen to us and if you don't start doing what we say, we're going to come in and we're going to level that place. Yeah. Would you have been okay with that?
If that's what would have happened, yeah. Right. If people wouldn't have died and kids not lost their limbs and lives, then yeah, sure. Right. You're asking me.
So you, your thing is you're upset about it only if we do what we did in Iraq.
No, because I'm upset about it, Mike. Even just on its face, on its premise, dude. I don't. To me, it's very simple. I like to keep things simple. I think we overcomplicate things when it comes to foreign policy and whatnot. Everyone has their own country. Everyone's got their own borders. Everyone has their own leaders. We should not necessarily be meddling around with other countries because they have the largest oil reserves on the planet. And that's what happened. We are going in there and we are basically bullying our way around. We're, again, just because it wasn't a military invasion, Venezuela now is going to be completely different than it was last week. Right?
I hope so.
Yeah, it will. But it's like we did that overnight. It's like that decision to go in there and flip that country. And again, we don't know if it's going to be better or worse, right? But if it ends up being better, okay. But I still don't like the idea of us going in there and just doing whatever we want to a sovereign nation. I don't like that.
Were you okay with us bombing Iran's nuclear facilities?
No.
Why?
No, because then that goes back to the whole Iran-Israeli war in the first place. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't think that whole thing should have even. Again, I am anti-war. Let's put it that way.
Well, do you think Iran should be able to have a nuclear weapon?
In my heart, I don't want anybody to have a nuclear weapon.
Agreed.
Like I just
but
don't
they're here.
I don't want.
I agree. I wish we never
anyone
invented it. I wish
doing
the technology
this stuff.
didn't. I wish the technology never
me too.
invented it.
Me
but
too,
it's,
Mike.
But it's
me
here.
too.
But it's here.
It's here.
So what do you say? Because they're a sovereign nation, they should be able to do whatever they want.
No, I don't want Iran having a nuke. No.
So what should we do about that?
Well, we should stop believing that they were even. We should stop buying the Kool-Aid that they're even trying to work on a nuke in the first place. We don't even know if that's true.
They had nuclear testing facilities.
Bibi Netanyahu said it. I don't believe what he says.
They were absolutely had nuclear testing facilities.
This is U.S. media propaganda, Mike. Again, the whole reason why he's been saying that Iran has been developing a nuclear weapon for the last 25 years. He's been saying this.
Do you not think they've tried?
I don't know. I don't know, but I know that that's the justification that people are giving to go in there and mess them up.
I mean, they've been.
It's a psyop. It's a psyop.
I don't know. I think it is a psyop. I don't think they were 2 months away from having a nuclear weapon. Mm-hmm. I don't think that. Mm-hmm. I think that they are still years away from having one, if they even were. But
it's tough when it comes to who can have a nuke and who can't have a nuke. It's like
I know, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's the same. It's the same conversation because that is a country that is a sovereign country. Yeah. They're on their own now. They are run by a dictator. You know, they're run by what's the guy's name? I can't even pronounce his name. But apparently he's going to Russia because he's scared that the U.S. is going to do what they just did to Maduro.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Apparently his whole family and everybody's moving over to Russia right now. And the supreme leader of Iran, I forget what his name is.
Well, then if he's just to temporarily hide, or I don't know, that's crazy if he does.
Yeah.
But oil is a little different from nukes, because this is their oil. It's their oil. It's on their land. It's their
Trump
oil.
is still saying it's their oil. Trump is still saying that it's their oil. He's like, we just want our companies to be able to be in there and pump it like you said we were going to be able to do.
Okay.
and help. And that's the whole thing. That's what people don't understand is like before Chavez, Venezuela was awesome. Mm-hmm. I mean, Caracas was.
People used to go tour there. People used to go visit there all the time.
Why?
It was nice and
because
economy
of
was
us.
good. Yeah, for sure.
Because we put the infrastructure there for them to be able to capture the benefit of their natural resources. Mm-hmm. And we signed a contract with them. Oh. And then a dictator got put in place that was duly elected. Mm-hmm. It wasn't actual duly elected, but he was just a farce. Yeah. He was a con man. And then when he came into power, he became a dictator. Mm-hmm. And then he ruined their currency. He printed it just so he could do whatever he wanted, and it ruined that country. And then because he had all of the ability to meddle in the elections and all that kind of stuff, it just kept going. The next guy, Maduro, stepped in and was like, "Oh, it's already here. Yeah. I'll use this fraud. I'll use everything that Chavez said, and I'll get elected even with 30% of the vote."
Yeah, yeah. I think that there's a lot of talk surrounding the politics within Venezuela itself and its relationship to the U.S. There is a guy in Venezuela who released a list of U.S. senators and congressmen who are implicated in drug trafficking. I don't know if that was a real thing or not.
And I hope to God that that's part of it.
Yeah.
I hope to
God. He was like, if you guys are going to come in here and basically accuse our guy of narco trafficking, then here's the list of all the guys in your backyard that are involved.
I hope
in this.
Maduro brought the list with him.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I hope it comes out in court.
I don't know. Again, I just wish we are an empire. Okay, now all empires fall. I think we're already kind of on that downward trajectory. I hate to say it, but what he's doing now, like if we go after Cuba and Colombia, it's like dude, you're just like playing Call of Duty here. Like what are we doing? Like what are we doing? We're just gonna go. Yeah, like okay, Cuba. Our whole lives has been painted as a bad place with bad leaders, right? Okay, so that's the psyop. That's already the psyop. Cuba, bad, people not happy. Okay, cool. Well,
it is true.
There. Again,
the people are not happy.
It's that's what we believe.
No, go speak to any Cuban that lives there.
No, I have. And there was a couple Cubans in my fellowship, and I talked to them. Supposedly, the internet's all blocked over. Yeah, it's not good. But like North Korea, there's no internet in North Korea. We're gonna go. Why don't we go liberate North Korea?
It's not in our hemisphere. Technical difficulties again.
Back, baby.
But you know what? I think it's Russia doing it. I think they turned off the or Israel.
You said it, not me. Mike said it. I didn't say it. Mike said it.
No, but they're not in our hemisphere, and so I was immediately concerned, about us going into another country and boots on the ground and trying to, liberate with a military presence. But it doesn't seem to be what's happening. Yeah. It really doesn't.
Yeah, and so here's the question. Like, when things get so muddy, like, what's the reason we're in there? Because I have 3 right now. People are telling me 3. Which one is it? We're liberating Venezuela? Is it the oil? Or is it the narco-trafficking? Or is it all 3?
I think it's all 3.
Yeah, it's all 3. But that's what I'm saying. Just throw some more in there. That's what I'm saying. We're just coming up with excuses. It's like, well, yeah, we're good. We're doing this because of X, Y, and Z. And while we're at it and we have a list involved, let's just keep adding to the list. And it's like, dude, that's when you become, that's what you referred to as overreach. It's overreach. I don't like it. I don't think we should be doing it. I think the U.S. needs to just kind of stay out of all these imperial conquests.
The problem is that China and Iran and Russia aren't.
Yeah, but honestly, though, can I say something about China, Iran, and Russia? Uh-huh. Okay, let's just talk about Iran for 1 second, because this is the easiest one for me to make the example of. What is Iran doing to us? I want to know what Iran is doing to the United States actively. Please, somebody give me a real, legitimate, good answer as to what Iran is doing to actively mess with the United States. Because the answer is, in my opinion, not much.
Well, I mean, from what I've been told, they're funding terror groups all over the world.
Oh, yes. Who told you that?
Well, I mean, just,
No, which country told you that?
Media.
Yeah, but which country controls the media? That's my point.
Right.
It's a big psyop, man. They want you
but here's the problem.
to create enemies.
Then why did the Iranian people hate their leaders so much? Why are they doing so poorly? Iran in the 70s was one of the most beautiful places on the planet.
Right, it was.
It had more money in that country than any other country on the world, just about.
It did.
And in 40 years, you're talking about people can't even feed their kids?
Yeah, we can compare Venezuela to Iran in that regard. They used to be better countries than they are today, but so was the United States, in my opinion. It still doesn't justify us. We keep messing with these people. We keep messing with other countries that I don't believe are really messing with us. I really don't. Like, I don't. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that all these people are such threats to us. Okay, you want to say Iran sponsors terrorism. Okay, I'll give it to you. Fine, Iran sponsors terrorism. Has Iran sponsored any terrorism that has occurred in your country?
I don't know.
I don't think so. Not that I know of. Not that I'm aware of. See what I'm saying? And when you talk about, them sponsoring terrorism or them backing Hamas or them backing all these, things, it's like, I'm not even sure how much real evidence there is behind that. I mean, I know they support us. I know that Iran obviously supports the Palestinian people. There's a lot of countries that support the Palestinian people. A lot. But, who's actively funding money to Hamas, which is, this terrorist organization? I know Qatar was funding money to Hamas, but through Israel's orders. But, no one wants to talk about that. I mean, I'm
Allegedly.
under this. Yeah, I'm under. No, that's real.
Is it real?
No, that's real, Mike. I have the video of that. They asked him. They said, why are you doing this? He said, it's the price to pay for peace. It's like, and his whole thing was, if we create this rift between Gaza and the West Bank, the Palestinians can never unite, which is true. It's too hard. This whole two-state solution, that's such bullshit. You can never have a two-state solution there. Just geographically, if you look at the map, you have Israel proper, you have Gaza all the way on the bottom west corner, and then you got the West Bank all the way up top. They're not connected. You can't have a two-state solution. It can be a three-state solution if you wanted to, but not two, never two. And that's kind of what they did.
Yeah.
I just think the United States is, dude, I'm patriotic, bro. I swear I am. I know I come across as like, well, we're very critical of our country.
We should be.
We should be. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, we were for the longest under a different administration.
I don't agree with a lot of what the United States does, but it doesn't mean that I don't love this country immensely.
For sure. And I will never not love this country. They're just making it harder. They're just making it harder, bro. That's my take on this whole imperial
I've
thing.
said this before. We're the United States people and the Iranian people and the Venezuelan people and the Gaza people, the actual citizens, they don't fight wars.
No.
Our politicians fight wars.
Yeah.
They use our bodies to do it.
Yeah.
I do not like that.
No.
At all.
At all.
Do I think that we should be meddling in other countries' businesses? Absolutely not.
No.
Unless it is a direct threat or could be a direct threat to the United States.
Right.
And I do think that was Venezuela. I do not think that was Iraq. I do not think that was Iran. I do not think that was anything going on in Gaza. I don't think those things. But I do think that Venezuela is a national security threat to us, having China and Russia and Iran in that country and probably able to get military bases there over the next few years if Maduro was still in power. I do believe that.
Do you think we're living in a World War III currently? I mean, what do you call this? What do you call?
That's the thing, right? So what do you call? What do you call
what's happening?
What do you call wars all over the world going on simultaneously?
Yeah. You got Russia, Ukraine.
It's hard not to call it World War III.
That's what I'm saying. And again, I always refer to these wars as semi-cold, if you will, because wars are no longer fought. I've been watching a lot of World War II stuff a lot because I really, the World War II shaped the world in a way to where a lot of us can't understand it. And I'm going back and I'm looking at Eastern Europe and how the Soviet Union fell and all these things. And it's like, wow, that had a lot of implications. What we did in those 45 minutes will have a lot of implications for millions of people in the years to come.
Yep.
And we do it overnight. And when I think about what's happening in the geopolitical world right now, I cannot call this anything other than, if not a World War III, a cold World War III, just like I think they try to do a cold civil war in this country too. There's a lot happening, but Again, we don't fight the wars the same way. There's no, dude, it was, man, have you seen some of this footage of World War II? Did you see what that, I mean, did you see that?
Trench warfare is
How did they
animalistic.
How did they do
Animalistic.
that? How did they do that?
I don't know, man.
It's bad. And it's like a lot of it's on camera too. And you're like,
it's because they were able to psyop the entire world.
Right.
And a few small group of people made trillions and trillions of dollars on those wars.
Yes,
and
sir.
I think that I think most wars that have been started is all about money.
Yeah.
And I think it's very sad that we are killing each other over.
Do you think the United States has put themselves in a position where they are dependent on war? Like China right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not dependent on war.
No.
They have a huge military. They're a strong country. I'm not aware of any other country I
don't necessarily think that our country's dependent upon war.
Do you think the military-industrial complex lobby is so strong that they would allow this country to live in relative peace? See my point? It's almost like it's such a strong lobby.
Yeah.
That if they're not fighting, if they're not sending weapons, if there's no recycle, I always said
if you don't use bullets, you don't need to buy them.
Or you don't have to produce them.
Right.
It's like, dude, can we all just like wake up to that simple notion that I think the United States has become so corrupt with regards to military-industrial complex that it's almost like, hey, we need it. Like every so often, it's like, hey, we need to get this going.
There's definitely a reason why we left $100 billion worth of equipment in Afghanistan.
Yes.
It's so they could get another purchase order for $100 billion worth of equipment here in the U.S.
I think so too. That's
100%.
That's a very good point, Mike.
It's 100%
because when they left it, we were all like, "Well, why are you leaving all this stuff?" But like you said, well, that means the U.S. military needs more.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? The congressman's going to call his buddy that owns Lockheed Martin and Raytheon and all this stuff. Oh, well, putting an order in.
Exactly. It's exactly why they did
it.
It was so easy to see.
Right. And why can't we just like agree that that's what's happening? So that's why I'm scared. Yeah. I'm scared of the relationship.
I honestly think that we should spend the money on the military-industrial complex and not have any wars. Because I agree that peace comes through strength.
Yeah.
Right? It's like fighting with your brother.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You and your brother fight all day long. But what did it take for you to stop?
Right.
A strong man, your dad, quit it.
Yeah, for sure.
And what happened?
For sure.
It stopped.
For sure.
And sometimes people need a dad. I'm not saying that we should be the dad of the world.
Well, that's kind of how we are.
But who's going to be a better dad than us?
Well,
what would have happened, since we're talking about World War II, what would have happened if Russia got the nuke first?
Oh, I don't know.
Would we be sitting here?
I don't know.
In your mind?
Well, towards the end of World War II, or I don't know for the whole thing, but they were our allies. So if that was
Germany.
Case,
Sorry, Germany.
Okay.
What if Germany would have got the
nuke
first?
Dude, have you seen that show Man in the High Castle or heard of it on the History Channel? That's exactly what it is. Basically, they rewrote history as if the Nazis won the war.
So would we be sitting here?
Yeah, but we're sitting here, but we'd have swastikas on and stuff. Like that's what the show's about. It's like the U.S. is controlled by Germany, by Nazis, like the military. It was an interesting show, but yeah, I mean,
was there any other country on the planet?
We wouldn't be able to talk like this.
Was there any other country on the planet that would have done what the United States did with the nuclear weapon, which was not use it?
We did use it.
What I'm saying is continue to use it. We used it once and we were like, no one should have this power.
Yeah. And I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, obviously.
What would have happened? I mean, honestly, you can talk all the mess you want about the United States, but this is the only country on the planet, in my opinion, that would have gotten that bomb and only used it one time or twice if you talk about both of them, the little boy and.
It's definitely a scary thought to think about if somebody else with a more aggressive trigger finger would have had it, for sure. 100%. Right. No, it's a scary thought.
So my question is like, we should continue to fund the military-industrial complex so that we can be the one with the big bomb so we don't use it.
And that's what we're doing.
Right. The problem is that the military-industrial complex wants to use it.
They want to use weapons, for sure.
Not
for
it,
sure.
but you know what I'm saying. They want to use everything.
Yeah.
And what I think we should be doing is just funding it so that we have it, and we're just like, Dad, hey, no,
Yeah.
quit that over there.
Yeah.
We don't do this. This is our planet, and we're not gonna do that anymore.
But that's what we did. That's what we did when we hit Iran. That's exactly what we did. We told basically for us to go into Iran and bomb that nuclear facility or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That was us telling Iran, hey,
Quit it.
You want to go?
Yeah,
Like,
quit it.
do you want to go?
Right.
And there are countries that.
Do you think we should do that as the United States? Do you think that we should be like a dad? Because we are the strongest power on the planet, right? Just like your dad was the strongest man in your house for a bunch of years, we are the strongest dad on this planet. Should we be the one to say, hey, no.
Yeah. If we had a good dad, yeah. We need a good dad.
Agreed.
We need a good dad. No, absolutely. There has to be. No, there are too many itchy trigger fingers in this world, and people don't understand this. What's our lifespan? 100 years if we're lucky?
Maybe.
And then how, it's like we're doing all this
Real quick,
this
I'm
lifespan.
going to be 42% loaded in 4 days, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Happy birthday, brother. Happy
you,
early
brother.
birthday. Me too. End of the month. We're both January
Yeah.
babies. Yeah, 43.
But you're
Aquarius.
You're Aquarius?
Yes, sir.
Am I?
I don't know.
Or am I Capricorn?
No,
I think I'm Capricorn.
Probably something else. Because I know Aquarius, I think, goes into February, so you're probably Cap. Yeah, I think you're Cap, Mike. No Cap.
I'm gonna
How do you not
ask
know
it.
your sign?
Well, I just don't follow it that much. Yeah, it is Capricorn.
Yeah.
I did know it.
Yeah.
So you're an Aquarius, I'm Capricorn.
Are we compatible?
Let's see. Let's see if we
check
would
it.
make a cute couple.
Oh, speaking of that, did you see? I think it was Scott Van Pelt on SportsCenter when they had the New Year's Eve stuff, and they showed people kissing. Did you see that?
What's funny is this is so true. Capricorn and Aquarius compatibility is a study in contrasts, often challenging, but potentially very rewarding.
Yes.
That's
good.
That's us to a T.
For sure.
We don't agree on everything.
No,
but
but our core principles are the same.
Yeah. But that's kind of cool that it kind of
our inward Baptist core principles.
Yeah, with neither of us being Baptist. That's the craziest thing, right? Like you went to a Baptist school, I went to a Baptist school. You're not Baptist, I'm not Baptist.
It was a good school, though.
It was
man.
the cheapest Christian school our parents could
find. It was. We couldn't afford Kincaid at the time, or get into Kincaid.
Oh, there's no way I could get into Kincaid
for sure.
or St. Thomas or any of those other ones. All right, well, that's enough about politics and geopolitical crap.
Yeah.
Houston, baby.
Yes, sir. Houston.
I want to talk about Houston's growth in the economy. It is a boom town right now. The population is surging. We are the second fastest growing city in the country over the last decade. Over the last 15 years. Number 2 in the country. We project to add 31,000 new jobs in 2026, putting our total employment at over 3.5 million, and that is primarily highly driven by corporate investments, which is the best way to grow that. And it's not government jobs. These are corporate jobs. And there's been 265,000 new residents between 2022 and 2023. And STEM grads at 49%, and income is up 7.7%. And this is on the heels, or while oil is at some of the lowest points that it's been at.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing.
For Houston specifically, yeah.
It's a huge thing for us that we're not so over, what do you call it, where one industry is the primary industry. And it was that way for a very, very long time. Oil and gas in South Texas, to be quite honest with you, Texas in general, but specifically Houston, was our driving force for the last, 100 years or so. And the industry that you're in, the medical industry, has come up and been a huge influx. Yeah. But not just that, we are getting much more manufacturing. I own an office furniture company, Lindsay's Office Furniture. Shout out, best office furniture company in the world. We are doing a ton of work for manufacturing facilities that are opening up here in town. And they are adding so many jobs.
That's good.
It's unbelievable. Houston is absolutely on fire.
Will the
Why
people...
do you think?
Oh,
Why do you think Houston is on fire more than almost every other city in the country?
I think because we have the most raw land available for people. I mean, if you look at other cities like out there, it's they're small. They're very small.
Do you mean we have the most land for one of the largest cities in the country?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, for like you look at like L.A. and like other cities like Miami, New York, all of them. It's like you're just kind of, if you're not in that city, you're kind of on the outskirts. And for us, you can live in the outskirts, work in the city, live in the outskirts, work in the outskirts. Outskirts companies set up their manufacturing in the outskirts.
And not only that, I mean, a medium home price, I think, in Houston is still in the $300,000
Yeah,
range.
no, we've always had the relatively lowest cost of living compared to the other like major cities. Always. We were always a good like best kept secret at number 4. We were behind L.A., New York, and Chicago for the longest. And I think we overtook Chicago.
I think we did.
Or we were going to. Yeah.
Yeah, let me see. That's actually a really good
question.
And
then when you compared their cost of living versus ours, it was like staggering. So, we attracted a lot of attention, but we attracted too much foreign investment too, which I don't like. A lot of Californians came in and invested in Houston. I know a lot of them too. And, it drove the price up of things. And then the more people you have coming in, that drives the price up more. So it's good and bad to live in a city that's growing, honestly. I mean, okay, let's talk about the bad. If your property value goes up, your property taxes goes up. But at the same token, if your property value goes up, that's not a bad thing. So it's like a double-edged sword, right?
Well, what I can say about property taxes is that our governor, Greg Abbott, who I do like, I don't love, I don't agree with him about a lot of stuff, especially his love for Israel as a
huge
freaking governor of Texas. It doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. Yeah. Actually, we are just under Chicago. Mm-hmm. But I bet if you put, like Houston proper, not proper, but, like what we consider Houston, I think we kill them. For sure. Even if you take what they consider Chicago, and you can, what I'm saying? Because Chicago proper is like teeny tiny. Yeah. But Chicago, what people call Chicago, is much larger. Same with Houston, right? Because Houston, we include, like the Woodlands and Sugar Land and Jersey Village.
Lake City. There's so many places. So many places.
And I think if you were to combine those, I think Houston Metroplex is bigger than Chicago at this point now.
No, it's Houston's. I mean, I don't know if I could live anywhere else just because of the anchoring that we have here. I don't think you could. I mean, if you cash out one day and you decide to move, which yeah, Mike's like, yeah, bring it. I wish you could. But
especially after the week I've had. Good Lord.
I
want to sell this stupid company.
Oh, it's awesome. It's but it's tough because we get so anchored here. It's good, but the traffic's killer. We need more natural beauty. That's a big problem with Houston. It's a big concrete jungle. It's all flat. You go to other places like Arizona.
I also don't like these just ugly buildings that they're building. It's all concrete. It's just flat concrete, or it's just flat glass. Yeah. It looks like nothing. Yeah. Like you go walk around Chicago and you look at the old architecture and stuff like that. Yes, exactly. Why don't we build stuff like that anymore?
The only thing nice we built was the Astrodome and Transco Tower, and then that one weird building in downtown that
Yeah, but why? I mean, what's the purpose of it? You go to Europe. Look at the buildings in Europe.
We don't build good. We don't build houses good. Look at the way we build houses.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, we don't put effort into our construction. We go for the cheapest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah. Like Frank, my boy, and the neighbor, he builds those everlasting homes, the concrete homes, flood-proof, fire-proof concrete. I mean, it's more expensive, but that home's built to last. Those things aren't going anywhere. Yeah. And that's like how they build homes back home, too. In the Middle East, it's out of stone. There's no wood. Yeah. There's no wood. Yeah. So it's like that thing is there.
Forever.
Forever, dude. Yeah. Forever.
I like that.
Yeah. We build kind of cheaply around here.
But yeah, man, Houston's on fire. Yeah. I mean, if you're looking for a city to move to Houston. I mean, honestly, because in my opinion, this city is doing nothing but on the up.
A lot of opportunity.
And I think there's a lot of opportunity here. And I think it's a pretty even playing ground. Mm-hmm. I mean, your family came from nothing, and look what you've built. My family came from absolutely nothing. My mom cleaned houses. My dad was an alcoholic. And we built something here. Mm-hmm. I think this city is very entrepreneurial. I think that there's a lot of benefit if you work hard. Mm-hmm. There is some good old boy here. Sometimes if you know someone, it can get you in. But primarily, people are very open. They're very inviting.
We're friendly.
We're a friendly.
We're a friendly place.
I had a meeting today over a Teams call with a very large office furniture company. They're a Miller Knoll dealer throughout the country. They've got locations everywhere, and we're trying to supply them some value product so that they can sell to their clients. And so we would sell our product to them, and then they would sell it to the end user because they have to buy from Miller Knoll. And I'm selling them a product that's pre-owned, so it doesn't conflict with that, and so they can offer their clients a cheaper option, right? And I was talking to him today, and big money guy, right? I mean, they probably do $500 million a year in annual revenue, and just talking to him about what's going on, what he's seen, and he's basically saying Texas is just rolling right now, and they are just blowing at the doors with business. And it's good to see that even in like AI and all of these things that are happening, that there's still jobs here, and that there's still growth here, and that the economy's still working for people here in Houston. How much of that's going on in LA and San Francisco and New York, I don't know.
No, I mean, you look at other cities, Mike, like San Francisco, for example. I mean, they haven't bounced back post-COVID. I don't think they will. I mean, they keep losing. There's bigger. So I think Houston's winning, and there's other cities that are losing. Because if we're absorbing other companies and other people, they got to be coming from somewhere. Right? Yeah. And so we're kind of absorbing that. Now, what Texas should continue to do, and I hope we do this, keep passing favorable tax laws.
I agree.
Keep passing like Florida does, right?
Give us our property tax back, please, Governor Abbott. It's so expensive, and we have such a surplus. We don't need the money. No. That's the thing. It's just we're just adding to this surplus, and it's like, why? No. Why are we doing that?
We got to pay Big Daddy. We have to pay the federal government. If Texas
no, this is the Texas surplus.
No, but I'm saying if Texas was like, I think Texas has like the fourth, fifth, sixth biggest GDP. Like if we were a country right now,
we'd be
our
top 10.
GDP would be
top 10, I think.
Huge. And so I'm in favor of a Texas secession. I always have been, and I will be. I don't know, but okay.
No, but we've talked about this.
Yeah, but
it's impossible.
Yeah, but let's talk about freedom of speech. I think one day, and this might not age well, what I just said. Because they could go back 20 years from now, that guy's a threat to whatever.
They do it all the time.
Right. So there's a lot of stuff that we say that I know won't age well, but I'm glad. We need to bookmark it.
Well, it's funny. A couple of people have asked, why do I do this? Why do we do this? And it's really not for views.
No,
it's really
not for us.
And I decided one day to really sit down and wonder why I do it. I love talking about this stuff. I love talking to you about this stuff. I really enjoy it.
For sure.
But it's more than that. To me, it's a time capsule for my family moving forward.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
I know that in 90 years, my great-grandkids can pull this up. Hi. Hey, I hope y'all are doing great. I hope that I made enough money so y'all don't have to do anything. If I didn't, my bad. Or maybe I spent it all, but that's also my bad. But that's what I want. Yeah. I would love to be able to go see a video of my dad talking about what was going on when he was 40 years old, and his opinions on those things, and what he thought about things, and how he articulated them. Yeah. All of that. I think it's just fascinating to be able to go back in time. So that's why I want to do this.
For sure.
I want to do this so that eventually later on, if someone wanted to know, hey, how did this family ever begin?
Yeah.
How did we get to where we're at? Because I'm hoping to be the first rung on the ladder, right? Or the second rung. My dad was the first rung on the ladder, right? I hope to be the second rung on that ladder. But I hope this ladder doesn't stop getting built,
for sure.
right? And I hope that eventually someone can be at the top of that ladder and look back and be like, who were the guys that even started this ladder?
Who were the original Rockefellers?
Right.
Yeah.
And what were their opinions about things, and how did they think, and how did they speak, and who really were they? That's why I do this.
For sure. For sure. No, I agree. I just need an outlet. I got to talk.
Yeah.
I can't talk at work.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's tough for me.
Yeah, that's tough for you.
I can't talk about this stuff with my patients. I can't talk about this stuff. And it's like, Amal doesn't want to hear it.
Obviously.
I don't want to hear that stuff.
Yeah, Vivi doesn't want to hear it either.
No, because if you think about it, because the stuff we talk about is pretty, okay, you have to be well informed.
Yeah.
Okay, we cannot talk about these things without knowing anything. It's like,
It's my favorite pastime.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we have to stay well informed, and we have to have these, these opinions. I know we talk a lot of politics, but we also talk, I mean, we don't do just politics. We talk about other things too. I need an outlet. I need to have this. I told you, I need a microphone or a muzzle. I need one of the two. I cannot keep this inside.
Yeah, I get it,
and
man.
so it's fun. No, it's fun for us. I'm excited. I was, it's been like 3 weeks since we did this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was too long.
Yeah.
Way too long. There was too much going on.
Yeah.
So I was like, what are we going to talk about?
New Year's, all that kind of stuff. For sure. And what's crazy is if we don't do it often, like things that happened 3 weeks ago that I wanted to talk about, it's gone.
Okay, like today I was like, well, we can't talk about Charlie Kirk. We can't talk about Candace because that's yesterday's news. Yeah. For sure. And in my head I'm like, but it's not. But it's not well timed right now. Yeah, it's funny, dude. It's funny.
Well, man, I think that's all the time we got for today. It's late in the afternoon, so actually in the evening now. It's probably dark when we walk outside.
Yeah.
I love you, brother.
Love you too, brother.
Yeah, good to see you guys. Appreciate y'all. Filterless podcast here. Bye-bye.
See ya.